bears are listed as endangered throughout Mississippi, and of course the Louisiana black bear, which is the subspecies that's found in the southern two-thirds of Mississippi, it's listed as federally threatened under the Endangered Species Act. Obviously this is due to very low numbers. We're trying to do all that we can to protect the bears that are still here, and obviously to learn as much as we can about them so that we as biologists and wildlife managers can do a better job keeping track of them. But the population in Mississippi is definitely growing. By our estimates, it has literally tripled in the last 6 or 7 years. Now, of course, that number is still relatively low. We estimate there are probably about 120 bears throughout the state, which obviously isn't very many considering an entire state. But when you consider how fast it's grown just in the last 6 or 7 years, it's pretty impressive. It's the 1st of March. We are going to do some aerial telemetry, which is where we're going to take this airplane up with these antennas affixed to the wings, and we mount them to the strut of the wing. We have one on each side of the plane. It gives us a directional signal finding ability. We have a switch box inside of the plane which we can flip back and forth from left to right. That way when we do pick up the signal, we can zero in on it. And today we are going to fly over the lower delta, tracking down and marking locations on some of our radio-collared bears. In particular, some of our radio-collared female bears. We're trying to find where they're denned up at so that we can come back in on the ground and find the actual den location. And then we're going to do what's called a den check, which is where we tranquilize the female bear. We change out her collar, her radio collar, so that it has a fresh battery in it so that it'll last a while. And then hopefully, if she has cubs, we will tag, weigh, and measure the cubs. It gives us an idea of how fast the population is growing, how many bears are born year to year, and also if we capture them farther on down the line, we can tell which cub is which through the tags, and gives us an idea of survivability, how old they are, where they came from, lots of good information. We hope to have at least 3 new litters of cubs this year. There's really no way to know for sure until we actually get up there and perform the den check on the female. But we expect to have at least 2 or 3 different litters of cubs this year. Anything less than that, and we'd be pretty disappointed.
We're in Starkey County on the Little Sunflower River. We're headed to, we have a bear den down here. We're going to go and check it out, and we'll let you know what we do from there.
We are probably we're probably about 100 yards or so from where the bear was denned at. We did a flight on last Thursday, and flew over just to make sure she was still in the same area. We picked her up right in this area, so we assume she's still up in the tree. We're fixing to get all our gear together and go out there and climb, and hopefully she's going to have some cubs that we can weigh and measure and tag as well. But we're fixing to go out there, get our gear together, and see what we got. The one round hole? Yeah. Watch it, you'll see her ear move into it. Keep your eye on it, you'll see her ear come up into the hole. Yeah. Today we had this bear up in a tree den, which is a little bit different from what we normally see, I would say. A lot of times they den on the ground or in brush piles. This particular bear was up in a big hollow tree. So we set a line, a climbing rope. I climbed up the tree. We used a little CO2 pistol to fire a special dart that has a modified needle on it. So we hit the bear with the dart. With the first dart, it didn't exactly work the way we had planned on it to. She got a little agitated. Obviously, she was just scared. She could hear people talking and knew that I was up there.
The second dart worked great though. She came down out of the tree and we were able to replace her collar. We got lots of good measurements on her. We'll get a lot of incredible information off of that collar as well. So overall it really turned out well. She wasn't going to hurt me. That's not her goal. She's just trying to get us away from her. And so, you know, I came down the tree and let everything kind of calm down. And eventually she came out of the tree on her own, and then we were able to work her up once the drug took effect. You know, as we put these collars on different bears in different parts of the state, it gives us new information about that particular area of the state that we didn't know before. And that's where a lot of the graduate research from Mississippi State is going to really pay off big dividends.
We've been involved in this project for about 1 year now, and what we're doing is looking at resource use, particularly trying to understand which habitats black bears in Mississippi prefer. We have so far information from about 5 different black bears in Mississippi with these GPS collars. This bear earlier today was a gold mine for us because she had almost 2 years of solid information where we have a location about every 5 hours over the last couple of years, so an incredible amount of information on what bears in Mississippi do.
We have radio collared 28 different bears in the state of Mississippi in the last 6 years. Now, obviously not all those collars are still working. Some of them have dropped off, or the batteries have died, or whatever the case may be. But we have gathered telemetry data, or tracking data, on 28 different bears in the state. This data is, you know, new data that we didn't have before. It gives us a lot of good information about, you know, habitat preferences, movements, den usage, lots of things that we really had no way of knowing before.